But what if I told you there's a way to transform anxiety into a motivating force, a way to stay calm even when everything around you seems to be falling apart? In today's video, we'll explore how to effectively deal with workplace pressure using simple strategies to boost self-confidence, manage anxiety, and maintain mental clarity under stressful situations. In this video, we'll discuss proven techniques that can be applied directly in your work environment to instantly reduce anxiety and improve your performance. We'll also explore powerful teachings from Stoic philosophy that can help you handle pressure without losing emotional control, and how self-care and self-discipline practices can be the key to maintaining balance between personal and professional life. Comment below. How have you been dealing with workplace stress? What practices do you use to stay calm in high-pressure situations? Understanding workplace anxiety. How pressure affects your mind and body. The workplace, by its very nature, is filled with demands and pressures that can trigger anxiety. When workloads pile up, the next project always feels more urgent, or the expectation for quick results looms like a constant shadow. The mind can become a battlefield. Workplace anxiety is not just an emotional reaction but also a physiological response to stress. Your heart races, your breathing becomes shallow, and your body starts sending signals that something is out of balance. This cycle of tension doesn't just affect our mind but also our physical health. The body and mind are interconnected, which is why it's essential to understand how workplace anxiety manifests and how we can begin to manage its impacts. Workplace pressure has become a constant in the modern world, and this is reflected in performance expectations that often exceed what is healthy. Anxiety arises when we feel we can't meet everything demanded of us or when we worry about the future. Concerns about tomorrow, the fear of failure, and the thought that we're not good enough build up and consume us. This is the first step of anxiety, the feeling of being unable to cope with pressure. However, by recognizing the source of anxiety, we can start making conscious choices to better manage stress and, in doing so, preserve our mental and physical health. One of the most effective ways to deal with workplace anxiety is to develop a strong mindset and the ability to control the mind. Emotional self-control, solid self-esteem, and a stoic mindset are essential tools for facing professional challenges without being consumed by anxiety. Deep self-awareness allows us to notice when pressure starts affecting our health and teaches us to take action to restore balance. Always remember that fear of the future, stress in the present, and anxiety about workplace performance are natural reactions, but they don't have to dominate us. By learning to control our mind, we become capable of facing pressure in a healthy way and continuing to progress in our personal and professional growth journey. Breathing techniques to reduce workplace anxiety. In moments of workplace pressure when anxiety seems to take over and thoughts start racing, a simple yet powerful technique can restore control: conscious breathing. Often when we're anxious, our breathing becomes shallow and rapid, which intensifies the feeling of panic. However, by controlling our breathing, we can calm the mind and restore a sense of balance and clarity. This deep breathing practice helps us reduce anxiety instantly, freeing our mind from worries about the future and the weight of tasks that seem overwhelming. When we master this technique, we realize we have the power to calm our mind, even in the most stressful moments. A simple yet highly effective breathing technique is diaphragmatic breathing, also known as deep breathing. By inhaling deeply through the nose and exhaling slowly through the mouth, we activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for calming the body and reducing stress levels. During this practice, we focus solely on our breathing, allowing it to become an anchor in the present moment. Instead of being swept away by racing thoughts, controlled breathing directs our attention to the body and the sensation of presence, creating an instant state of relaxation. This simple breathing exercise can be done any time in the workplace, becoming a vital tool for staying calm under pressure. By applying conscious breathing in daily professional life, we not only reduce anxiety, but also increase self-confidence. As part of the mental discipline that Stoic philosophy teaches us, we can learn not to react impulsively to external stimuli, but to act with serenity and control. Breathing becomes a powerful tool for cultivating inner strength, allowing us to maintain focus and mental clarity even in highly stressful situations. As Marcus Aurelius said, True strength lies not in the absence of adversity, but in our ability to remain calm in its presence. Breathing deeply is a simple yet significant step toward controlling anxiety and facing workplace challenges with self-confidence and tranquility. How meditation can help control workplace anxiety. Amid the hustle and bustle of work, we often forget to pause and breathe, to take a step back and look inward. Meditation, an ancient practice, is one of the most powerful ways to calm the mind and reduce anxiety in the workplace. The simple act of quieting the mind for a few minutes allows us to reconnect with our inner essence, creating a space of tranquility amidst the chaos. Instead of getting lost in the pressure of daily tasks, meditation teaches us to be present, to face anxiety with clarity, and to release accumulated stress. Mindfulness meditation practices can be applied simply during the workday. Just 5 to 10 minutes of meditation can relieve tension, help regain focus, and promote a calmer, more centered mental state. During these meditation moments, we focus on our breathing or a positive thought, allowing anxious thoughts about the future or workplace challenges to dissipate. This practice helps free the mind from excessive worries and prepares the ground for more assertive and balanced action. Instead of being at the mercy of fear or uncertainty, meditation enables us to take control of our thoughts, practicing emotional self-control. When practiced regularly, meditation can transform our response to stress. It not only teaches us to handle pressure, but also strengthens our mental resilience and our ability to make more conscious decisions. By training the mind to focus on the present, we overcome anxiety and become better equipped to face challenges with serenity. Stoic philosophy teaches us that we cannot control what happens, but we can control our response. Meditation, therefore, is not just a technique to reduce anxiety, but a practice for cultivating inner peace, calm, and mental clarity, creating a refuge of tranquility within us, even amidst the whirlwind of the workplace. How Stoic philosophy can help handle workplace pressure. Workplace pressure can often feel overwhelming. The demands seem endless, and anxiety grows as we try to keep up with the fast pace. However, Stoic philosophy offers a different path. Instead of reacting impulsively to pressure and stress, the Stoics teach us to face challenges with serenity and emotional resilience. According to Epictetus, it's not the events that disturb us, but our opinions about them. Therefore, the pressure we feel at work is not something beyond our control, but an opportunity to apply our strong mindset and act with emotional discipline. Stoic philosophy teaches us that true control lies in our response to events, not in external circumstances. When we apply this principle to the workplace, we realize that the pressure we feel is not something to be avoided, but something to be understood and managed. The fear of failing or not meeting others' expectations can create a significant burden of anxiety. However, by adopting a Stoic mindset, we can see these situations as opportunities to apply our wisdom and strengthen our emotional self-control. By acting with clarity and discernment, instead of succumbing to pressure, we can face any challenge with courage, without being dominated by anxiety. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, often reflected on the importance of accepting what we cannot control and acting with virtue in what is within our reach. He reminded us that true peace comes from accepting the impermanence of situations and focusing on what we can change in our behavior. In the workplace, this means accepting obstacles and unforeseen events without letting them throw us off balance. With a Stoic mindset, we can transform pressure into motivation to act with wisdom, using challenges as a reflection of our inner strength rather than a reason for despair. This not only reduces anxiety but also prepares us to overcome crises with mental resilience. Creating self-care habits to stay calm. Under pressure. In the workplace, stress is often a consequence of a lack of balance between external demands and our internal capacity to manage emotions. One of the best ways to stay calm under pressure is to adopt self-care habits that not only relieve stress, but also strengthen our emotional resilience. Self-care is not just about taking care of the body, but also the mind and spirit. When we're overwhelmed at work, it's easy to neglect our well-being, but it's precisely in these moments, more than ever, that we need to care for ourselves to ensure emotional self-control and mental clarity. Daily self-care practices, such as meditation, physical exercise, healthy eating, and adequate rest, are essential for maintaining balanced mental and emotional energy. However, the true power of self-care goes beyond the physical. It lies in our ability to listen to our mind and understand when it's time to take a break or recalibrate our priorities. Stoic philosophy teaches us that we cannot control external situations, but we can choose how we respond to them. Choosing to care for ourselves is a form of empowerment, where we respect our limits and don't allow pressure to dominate us. By incorporating self-care habits, we create a strong mindset that helps us face workplace challenges with calm and focus. For example, when we practice self-acceptance and inner silence, we become more capable of facing criticism and pressure without losing clarity. Daily self-care teaches us to maintain balance between body and mind, allowing us to recharge our energy and return to work with more motivation and focus. What we often call overwhelm is, in reality, a lack of attention to our inner needs. By balancing our body and mind, we can transform pressure into motivation, moving forward with self-confidence and keeping our mental health intact. The art of delegation: how to reduce pressure and avoid anxiety. Workplace pressure often stems from the feeling that we have to do everything ourselves. Anxiety increases when tasks pile up, and the fear of not being able to handle everything prevents us from acting with clarity. One of the most effective ways to reduce this pressure and avoid anxiety is to learn to delegate effectively. Delegating doesn't signify weakness, but strategic wisdom. By delegating tasks, we not only lighten the load on our shoulders, but also build an environment of trust and collaboration. Effective delegation is an essential skill for staying calm in stressful situations, allowing us to focus on what's most important and use our energy more efficiently. When we delegate correctly, we acknowledge that the work doesn't need to be done by a single person. There's no shame in asking for help, as it strengthens the team and fosters an atmosphere of mutual support. Self-confidence and self-respect are enhanced when we know we can trust others' abilities. To delegate well, it's important to be clear about which tasks you can truly handle and which can be efficiently performed by someone else. This awareness of personal limits is crucial for avoiding overload and maintaining emotional control in challenging situations. Moreover, Stoic discipline teaches us to focus on the tasks that truly matter and delegate others with confidence. By applying this principle, we understand that delegating is not a failure of leadership, but a smart strategy for maintaining mental clarity and efficiency. This allows us to reduce stress and anxiety by focusing on what truly makes a difference in our work. Delegating is not just about sharing the burden of tasks, but about strengthening our ability to make clear and focused decisions, knowing that by trusting others, we create a support network that allows us to grow sustainably. How to boost self-confidence to overcome workplace anxiety. Workplace anxiety often arises when we doubt our ability to handle demands or deliver what's expected of us. The fear of failure and the desire to please others can undermine our self-confidence and increase the pressure we feel. However, true self-confidence doesn't come from perfection, but from the ability to trust ourselves, regardless of the circumstances. By strengthening our self-confidence, we not only reduce anxiety, but also act with clarity and determination, even in the most challenging situations. Self-confidence is built through consistent actions and small victories. Each time we face our fears or overcome challenges, our trust in ourselves grows. Stoic philosophy teaches us to focus on our emotional response and act with wisdom, without relying on external validation. When we believe in our ability to handle whatever comes our way, anxiety begins to dissipate because we know we have the inner strength to face the unknown. Building self-confidence isn't about eliminating fear, but acting despite it, trusting that with self-discipline and a strong mindset, we can overcome any obstacle. Additionally, recognizing our strengths and celebrating daily small victories are essential for strengthening our self-esteem. When we focus on what we do well, rather than our failures, our inner confidence grows. Deep self-awareness also plays a significant role in this process. By understanding our strengths and areas for growth, we become more secure in our decisions, knowing that, no matter the challenge, we have the capacity to learn and evolve. With this Stoic mindset, workplace anxiety loses its power because we know that by focusing on our emotional control, we can transform any situation into an opportunity for personal and professional growth. The importance of planning. How to organize your work to reduce anxiety. Workplace Anxiety often stems from the feeling of being overwhelmed by tasks, not knowing where to start, or getting lost in constant demands. The good news is that effective planning can be the key to reducing anxiety and bringing mental clarity. When we know exactly what we need to do, in what order, and within which deadlines, stress decreases, and we can complete our tasks more efficiently and with less haste. Planning work is more than just making a to-do list. It's a way to organize the mind, calm anxiety, and maintain focus on what's most important. By planning our activities, we create a clear mental map of how tasks fit together, their priorities, and how much time we need to complete them. This organization process not only helps us manage time, but also gives us a sense of control over our work, which is fundamental for combating anxiety. Stoic philosophy teaches us to focus on what's within our reach and let go of what we cannot control. By applying this to planning, we can organize our priorities rationally and strategically, letting go of constant worry about what isn't directly our responsibility. Moreover, by breaking large tasks into smaller, manageable steps, we can transform seemingly gigantic work into more manageable activities. This not only makes execution easier but also reduces the feeling of overload and allows us to celebrate small victories along the way. Planning is thus a practice of self-discipline and emotional self-control, where each choice made to organize work is a choice to stay calm and act efficiently. By applying these principles of strategic organization, we can control our mind and reduce anxiety, taking steady steps toward professional success with mental clarity and focus. Mindfulness techniques to maintain mental clarity under pressure. In a workplace overloaded with tasks and deadlines, mental clarity becomes one of our greatest allies. Often, anxiety arises when we're scattered, trying to do multiple things at once or worrying about what's to come. Mindfulness, or full attention, is a practice that can be applied to maintain calm and mental clarity even in high-pressure situations. By practicing mindfulness, we bring our attention back to the present, freeing the mind from the whirlwind of thoughts and allowing us to act with more wisdom and focus. Mindfulness in the workplace means being aware of the present moment in each task, without being carried away by future worries or past mistakes. This practice involves focusing entirely on what we're doing, without haste or distraction, with full attention and intention. Instead of multitasking, mindfulness teaches us to concentrate our energy on one thing at a time, allowing us to perform tasks more efficiently and with less anxiety. When we practice mindfulness, we learn to observe our thoughts and emotions without identifying with them, giving us a sense of emotional control and resilience in the face of stress. Mindfulness practice in the workplace is also directly linked to deep self-awareness and emotional self-control. When we become more aware of our emotional reactions to high-pressure situations, we can act more balanced and rationally. By cultivating this ability to maintain mental clarity in the present, we reduce anxiety and make more assertive decisions. Additionally, mindfulness helps us access our inner silence, a space of peace and balance where we can face any challenge with calm, becoming stronger and more resilient in the face of workplace adversities. How to transform anxiety into motivation to achieve your professional goals. Anxiety at its core is a natural response to fear of the unknown, especially in the professional environment. However, when we learn to recognize and understand anxiety, we can transform it into motivation. Instead of being paralyzed by the fear of not being good enough or failing to meet imposed goals, we can channel this anxious energy to act in a focused and strategic way. The key to this transformation is realizing that anxiety, when well directed, can be the driving force that propels us to overcome obstacles and achieve our professional goals. Transforming anxiety into motivation requires continuous development of self-confidence. When we feel incapable of handling pressure, it's natural for anxiety to take over, but if we cultivate a strong mindset and focus on what we can control, anxiety loses its power. Self-discipline and self-awareness help us recognize anxiety triggers and, instead of reacting impulsively, take conscious actions that move us toward our goals. Stoicism, with its focus on emotional control, teaches us to act with reason and choose how we respond to challenges, transforming anxiety into motivation to improve and grow. This practice of using anxiety as motivation is a powerful skill. Over time, the more we act toward our goals, Even when anxiety tries to dominate us, the stronger and more confident we become. With each victory, even a small one, we realize we can control our mind and that anxiety is not an obstacle, but a tool that pushes us forward. By aligning our emotions with our actions, we can move forward with clarity and purpose, transforming the fear of failure into motivation to achieve success. This transformation is the key to reaching professional goals, not through the absence of fear, but through courageous action in its presence. Overcoming criticism at work. How to handle negative feedback without feeling anxious. Criticism in the workplace is inevitable, but how we handle it can determine the impact it has on our emotional health. Often, when we receive negative feedback, anxiety arises, fueled by internal criticism and a lack of self-confidence. However, it's possible to transform criticism into an opportunity for growth instead of letting it consume us. The first key to dealing with negative feedback is not to take it personally. When we understand that criticism is about the work and not our personal value, we can overcome the emotional impact and use the experience to learn and improve. An effective way to handle criticism is to practice emotional self-control. When we receive feedback, especially negative, our initial reaction may be defensive or frustrated, but this only increases our anxiety and distances us from the reality of the situation. By taking a deep breath and stepping back, we can observe the criticism rationally, separating emotions from facts. This allows us to focus on what we can improve, rather than wasting time and energy on feelings of inadequacy. Stoic philosophy teaches us not to be dominated by others' opinions, but to act with integrity, using feedback as a tool to evolve and refine our skills. By applying deep self-awareness, we can identify areas for improvement without letting criticism shake our self-esteem. This strengthens inner confidence because we understand that criticism is an opportunity for personal and professional growth, not a reflection of our worth. Receiving feedback, especially when negative, is a chance for reflection and self-discovery, where we can transform anxiety into positive action. True self-confidence comes from knowing that by listening to criticism with an open mind, we can continuously improve and move forward with more clarity and determination. How to maintain balance between personal and professional life to reduce anxiety. Balancing personal and professional life is one of the greatest challenges in the modern world. Constant workplace pressure combined with personal demands can lead to emotional overload and excessive stress. Anxiety often arises when we can't separate the spheres of life, allowing professional worries to invade our personal time. However, it's possible to stay calm and reduce anxiety by learning to set healthy boundaries between these two areas of our lives. By doing so, we preserve our mental health and the emotional energy needed to succeed in both work and personal life. An effective way to create this balance is to set clear schedules and boundaries. This means, for example, disconnecting from work after hours without feeling the need to respond to emails or think about the next day's tasks. By allowing this downtime, you're not only taking care of your mental health, but also revitalizing your emotional energy for when you return to work. Stoic discipline teaches us to be masters of our time, not allowing work to consume all our attention and energy. Creating spaces for inner silence and moments for self-care are fundamental to maintaining this healthy balance. Additionally, self-care and deep self-awareness play a vital role in maintaining balance. Self-care is not just about physical rest, but also about investing in emotional well-being. By reflecting on our personal and professional needs, we can make more conscious decisions that not only reduce anxiety, but also prepare us for a more balanced and fulfilling life. When we apply the philosophy of self-respect and a strong mindset, we understand that we cannot sacrifice our inner peace for work. By cultivating this balance, anxiety decreases, and our inner confidence grows, allowing us to move forward with more clarity and inner strength. How to face high-pressure situations at work with clarity and emotional control. High-pressure situations at work can be extremely challenging. Tight deadlines, high expectations, and the need for quick results can easily generate elevated levels of stress and anxiety. However, true emotional strength lies in our ability to maintain mental clarity and emotional control, even in the most intense moments. Pressure doesn't have to dominate us. Instead, we can use it as an opportunity to demonstrate our resilience and ability to act with wisdom under challenges. The secret to staying calm under pressure is cultivating a strong mindset, where emotions don't dictate our reactions, but we are guided by reason and self-discipline. When pressure increases, the first step is to take a deep breath and step back to regain focus. Often we're so caught up in tasks or others' expectations that we forget to focus on what's within our control. By practicing emotional self-control, we can start filtering distractions and return to the present moment. This allows us to make clearer decisions without the interference of anxiety. Stoic philosophy teaches us that by accepting what we cannot control, we can focus our energy on what's truly important, without being consumed by emotions or external pressure. Acting with clarity and calm becomes an essential skill for overcoming any high-pressure situation at work. Moreover, maintaining inner silence is crucial when facing difficult situations. This space of inner peace allows us to recognize and understand our emotions without being dominated by them. By practicing mental discipline and acting deliberately, we can respond to any challenge with confidence and determination, rather than reacting impulsively. When we manage to focus on solutions and stay calm, we not only handle pressure effectively, but also grow in our capacity for leadership and emotional management. By applying practices of self-control, mental resilience, and a strong mindset, we can transform challenging situations into opportunities to grow, evolve, and achieve our goals with more confidence and clarity. Now that you know some powerful strategies for managing workplace anxiety and staying calm under pressure, it's time to put this knowledge into practice. Remember, anxiety is not an insurmountable obstacle but an opportunity for growth and transformation. By controlling your mind and applying simple techniques like conscious breathing, meditation, and effective planning, you can transform stress into a motivational tool that propels you to achieve your professional goals with more clarity and self-confidence. Don't forget that when dealing with workplace pressure, a strong mindset and emotional self-control are your greatest allies. When you choose to act with calm and intention, rather than being dominated by fear or anxiety, you become more resilient and prepared for challenges. Now, take a moment to reflect. How can you apply these strategies in your professional life? What can you start changing today to transform stress into motivation? Comment below with your anxiety management strategies, or subscribe to the channel to keep learning about how to stay calm and achieve success, even in the most challenging situations. True change starts with you. Transform your professional life now.